The words of Húrin and Morgoth. Now by the command of Morgoth, the orcs with great labor gathered all the bodies of their enemies, and all their harness and weapons, and piled them in a mound in the midst of the plain of Anfauglith, and it was like a great hill that could be seen from afar, and the Eldar named it Howden Nirnaith. But grass came there and grew again long and green upon that hill alone in all the desert, and no servant of Morgoth thereafter trod upon the earth beneath which the swords of the Eldar and the Edain crumbled into rust. The realm of Fingon was no more, and the sons of Feanor wandered as leaves before the wind. To Hithlum none of the men of Hador's house returned, nor any tidings of the battle and the fate of their lords, but Morgoth sent thither men who were under his dominion, swarthy Easterlings, and he shut them in that land and forbade them to leave it. This was all that he gave them of the rich rewards that he had promised them for their treachery to Maedhros, to plunder and harass the old and the children and women folk of Hador's people, the remnant of the Eldar of Hithlum. All those who did not escape into the wilds and the mountains he took to the mines of Angband, and they became his thralls. But the orcs went freely through all the north, and pressed ever southward into Beleriand. There Doriath yet remained, and Nargothrond, but Morgoth gave little heed to them, either because he knew little of them, or because their hour was not yet come in the designs of his malice. But his thought ever returned to Turgon. Therefore Húrin was brought before Morgoth, for Morgoth knew by his arts and his spies that Húrin had the friendship of the king, and he sought to daunt him with his eyes. But Húrin could not yet be daunted, and he defied Morgoth. Therefore Morgoth had him chained and set in slow torment. But after a while he came to him, and offered him his choice to go free whither he would, or to receive power and rank as the greatest of Morgoth's captains, if he would but reveal where Turgon had his stronghold, and aught else that he knew of the king's counsels. But Húrin the steadfast mocked him, saying, "Blind you are, Morgoth Bauglir, and blind shall ever be, seeing only the dark. You know not what rules the hearts of men, and if you knew, you could not give it. But a fool is he who accepts that what Morgoth offers. He will take first the price, and then withhold the promise, and I should get only death, if I told you what you ask." Then Morgoth laughed, and he said, "Death you may yet crave of me as a boon." Then he took Húrin to the Howden Nirnaith, and it was then new built, and the reek of death was upon it. And Morgoth set Húrin upon its top, and bade him look west towards Hithlum, and think of his wife and his son and other kin. "For they dwell now in my realm," said Morgoth, "and they are at my mercy." "You have none," answered Húrin, "but you will not come at Turgon through them, for they do not know his secrets." Then wrath mastered Morgoth, and he said, "Yet I may come at you and all your accursed house, and you shall be broken on my will, though you all were made of steel." And he took up a long sword that lay there and broke it before the eyes of Húrin, and a splinter wounded his face, but Húrin did not blench. Then Morgoth, stretching out his long arm towards Dor-Lomin, cursed Húrin and Morwen and their offspring, saying, "Behold, the shadow of my thought shall lie upon them wherever they go, and my hate shall pursue them to the ends of the world." But Húrin said, "You speak in vain, For you cannot see them, nor govern them from afar, nor not while you keep this shape, and desire still to be a king visible on earth. Then Morgoth turned upon Húrin, and he said, Fool! Little among men, and they are the least of all that speak. Have you seen the Valar, or measured the power of Manwë and Varda? Do you know the reach of their thought? Do you think, perhaps, that their thought is upon you, and that they may shield you from afar? I know not, said Húrin. Yet so it might be, if they willed. For the elder king shall not be dethroned while Arda continues. You say it, said Morgoth. I am the elder king, Melkor, first and mightiest of all the Valar, who was before the world and made it. The shadow of my purpose lies upon Arda, and all that is in it bends slowly and surely to my will. But upon all whom you love my thought shall weigh as a cloud of doom, and it shall bring them down into darkness and despair. Wherever they go, evil shall arise. Whenever they speak, their words shall bring ill counsel. Whatsoever they do shall turn against them. They shall die without hope, cursing both life and death. But Húrin answered, Do you forget to whom you speak? Such things you spoke long ago to our fathers, but we escaped from your shadow, and now we have no knowledge of you. And for we have looked on the faces that have seen the light, and heard the voices that are spoken with Manwë. Before Arda you were, but others also, and you did not make it. Neither are you the most mighty, for you have spent your strength upon yourself, and wasted it in your own emptiness. No more are you now than an escaped thrall of the Valar, and their chains still awaits you. You have learned the lessons of your masters by rote, said Morgoth, but such childish lore will not help you. Now they are all fled away. This last will I say to you, thrall Morgoth, said Húrin, and it comes not from the lore of the Eldar, but is put into my heart in this hour. You are not the lord of men, and shall not be, though all Arda and Mendel fall in your dominion. Beyond the circles of the world you shall not pursue those who refuse you. Beyond the circles of the world I will not pursue them, said Morgoth, for beyond the circles of the world there is nothing. But within them they shall not escape me, until they enter nothing. You lie, said Húrin. You shall see, and you shall confess that I do not lie, said Morgoth, and taking Húrin back to Angband, he set him in a chair of stone upon a high place of Thangorodrim, from which he could see afar the land of Hithlum in the west, and the lands of Beleriand in the south. There he was bound by the power of Morgoth, and Morgoth, standing beside him, cursed him again, and set his power upon him, so that he could not move from that place, nor die, until Morgoth should release him. Sit now there, said Morgoth, and look out upon the lands where evil and despair shall come upon those whom you have delivered to me. For you have dared to mock me, and have questioned the power of Melkor, master of the fates of Arda. Therefore, with my eyes you shall see, and with my ears you shall hear, and nothing shall be hidden from you.